Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi, as we were walking up to the stage earlier, she said some pretty harsh things over the last 24 hours, leaked out from her caucus. She said, I don't want impeachment, I want him in prison, meaning you. How do you work with someone like that?
I think she's a disgrace. I actually don't think she's a talented person. I've tried to be nice to her because I would have liked to have gotten some deals done. She's incapable of doing deals. She's a nasty, vindictive, horrible person. The Mueller report came out. It was a disaster for them. They thought their good friend Bobby Mueller was going to give them a great report, and he came out with a report with 13 horrible, angry Democrats who were totally biased against me. A couple of them worked for Hillary Clinton. They then added 5 more, also Democrats. With all of that, 2.5 years, think of it. From before I even got elected, they've been going after me, and they have nothing.
Do you mind if he testifies still? Before you said you didn't care. Mueller testified.
Let me tell you, he made such a fool out of himself the last time because what people don't report is the letter he had to do to straighten out his testimony, because his testimony was wrong. But Nancy Pelosi, I call her Nervous Nancy. Nancy Pelosi doesn't talk about it. Nancy Pelosi's a disaster, okay? She's a disaster. And let her do what she wants. You know what? I think they're in big trouble, because when you look at the kind of crimes that were committed, and I don't need any more evidence, and I guess from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of evidence coming in. But you look, and then ask Nancy, why is her district at drug needles all over the place? It's the most disgusting thing, what she's allowed to happen to her district, with needles, with drug addicts, with people living in the middle of the streets, with people living on the sidewalk. You can't go. She ought to focus on that, because she's a disaster.
Works crews are doing some housekeeping. They pick up blood-spattered drug syringes.
This box, it got over 100+ needles in it.
Hose down feces and urine.
How you doing in there?
And this is just one homeless camp out of dozens throughout San Francisco.
She made a statement. It was a horrible,
when you were
nasty,
overseas,
vicious statement while I'm overseas. Now, if I made any statement about anybody, it would be like a big head. Why would he do that when he's overseas? She did it when she is a terrible person. And I'll tell you, her name, it's Nervous Nancy, because she's a nervous wreck.
On Tuesday, Joe Biden once again downplayed the China threat at one of his town halls in New Hampshire.
He doesn't get it.
We're in a position where we have the most agile venture capitalists in the world. It's not like they're bad guys. We're the best at doing it. Our workers are literally 3 times as productive as workers in the Far East. I mean, in Asia. And they're 3 times as productive. What are we worried about?
How happy would President Xi be to have Joe Biden be the nominee?
Well, he wants him. He wants him. Hey, look, we're taking in tens of billions of dollars. We had a 3.2 GDP first quarter. It's always 1%, less than 1%. It's always the worst quarter. We're at 3.2. A 1.5 above schedule. You know why? Because so much money's coming in from China. We never took in any money from China. And let me tell you a little secret. That's only a little tiny piece of it, because the big one is yet to come. We have $325 billion that I haven't even taxed yet. And they've already spent all of their weapons. They've done everything they can. I'll tell you, the greatest people, the farmers, our patriot farmers. And now they're going to benefit like you. And you know, remember this about the farmers. For 15 years, before I got here, everything was coming down. So this didn't happen. The farmers are going to be one of the biggest beneficiaries, but these are patriots. These are people that say, the president is right. And if I'm going to go through a little short-term problem, it doesn't matter. The president is right. Listen to those incredible people back there. These people are so amazing. And what they don't realize is that I'm holding them up because of this interview, but that's because it's you.
President.
By the way, congratulations on your ratings. I'm very proud.
Thank you very much. And President Xi and President Putin sat down yesterday, announced new trade deals, talked about their closer, warmer relationship. Your reaction to that, especially because you did want to have a better relationship, if possible, with Russia at the beginning of your term. Is that out the window now?
No,
Is it not possible?
I think we can have a good relationship with Russia. I think it's hurt by the phony witch hunt. You know, I could have a good relationship with Russia. Again, we have what everyone wants. I built an economy that's incredible. We're up $14 trillion in value. Look at what's going on with the stock market. And this is despite a Federal Reserve that, frankly, should have had lower interest rates and everything else. Now, there's a safety net that's good, and it's more conservative. But if we didn't have all these interest rates, you know, who thought he was going to raise interest rates all? But if we didn't have that, we'd be at 5.2, and the stock market would be up 10,000 points more. But now we have a very conservative approach, and we've created trillions of dollars in value. And by the way, China has lost trillions of dollars in value. If somebody else, let's say the opponent, who shouldn't have even been allowed to run, you know, she happens to be a crooked person, so her name was very appropriate. But if she ever won, I would say China right now would be far ahead of the United States. Just think of it. China would have been, we are now so far ahead of China.
Yeah.